This is DiabloGamerGirl and I'm trying out Diablo 3. I've never played any of the Diablo games before, but I thought I'd give it a go as Killerbyte wanted someone to try out this game with him. It's very much meant as a co-op game. I'm playing as a female witch and he's playing as a male witch doctor, so you'll be able to see both the classes levelling up and what different spells and upgrades they get. So here we go, this is the first part of playing Diablo 3.
I wander to places beyond imaginings, far from the jungles of my youth. My knowledge has grown vast. The people, they think me banished, shunned to the end of my days. They say I defy the spirits, but I say no. I follow them. The spirits show me alone that the Skyfire is where the end begins. They say this must not be. I live to serve the spirits. So I go. There is none but me to answer the call.
So a brief rundown of the controls. Left stick on the Xbox controller is to move around and right stick is to do a roll. This is a feature that was actually left out of the PC version. As a witch, my A button throws some magic, which you can see there, and that's my one attack that I can do at the moment. And for Killerbyte, who's playing as a witch doctor, his A button means he is blowing a poisonous dart. I'm going to go into my inventory, and if I tab along to the skills button, we can have a quick look at my A button magic, which is called the missile. And we can see this launches a missile of magical energy causing 115% weapon damage. If I go back into my inventory, I can have a quick look what I've got here. As you can see on the helmet button here in my inventory, I've got the Infernal Helm. Now this is something that came with the game as downloadable content, so using A I can equip that, and I also get a achievement unlock of Legends of the Brawl for doing that. So now Killerbyte's going into his inventory and he's going to do the same there because it's for both players, which I think is really good. And we can have a closer look at his primary weapon, which, as I said, is the poison dart, which shoots a deadly poison dart that deals 100% weapon damage as poison and an additional 40% weapon damage as poison over 2 seconds. So now that we're all geared up for battle, we're going to move along here, and we very quickly encounter an enemy, and just as quick we manage to dispatch him, and again a couple more here. So using that A button, I'm throwing my magic missile and Killerbyte is throwing those poison darts. So you can see about 3 hits between us will kill off one of the enemies. On the Xbox controller, if you use the left trigger, it will help you to target an enemy if your aim is a little bit off depending on where you're facing, so I found that quite helpful. And immediately we encounter a quest.
In search of the star that fell on this land.
It fell on the old cathedral. There was only one survivor, Leah. You should speak with her. Captain Rumpert.
So just to summarise, we are in search of the star that fell on this land, and this guy here has told us we need to go and speak to the one survivor, Leah. But first of all, we have to get rid of these enemies who are coming to try and kill us. Again, they only require a couple of hits to kill them, but there are quite a few here, so try and make sure you stand back as they move quite quickly towards you. Keep throwing that magic or whatever it is you're using and get rid of them all, and then you can proceed on through these gates to the next bit. We reach our first checkpoint. There's a couple of guys standing here. I'm not the sort of person, I'm not going to go and talk to every single person I meet. This is just to give you a bit of a brief overview. But we are going to see Brother Malachi the healer here. If you come up to him and press A, he will heal you.
But I shall do what I can to ease your pain. May the gods who abandoned us come to your
The
aid.
other guy stood to his left is a merchant for when you want to sell those items that you don't require, but as we haven't really picked anything up yet, we don't require him either. So we are going to carry on and look for Leah. Now here we come across our own personal banner, which if you press A on, you can customise it, you can change quite a few of the colours and the symbols and all the different bits on here. So I'm going to just have a little play with mine, make it a little bit more fun, a little bit more girly. So obviously I'm going to choose some pink on here, so that changes the actual colour of the emblem. You can change the style of the sort of the background of your flag. Some of them are locked, so I'm guessing we're going to unlock them as we go through. I've chosen a simple diagonal cross. I'm going to choose a little bit more colour here. This is for the actual background, so let's have a little look what goes well with that. I'm going to put that as a nice simple white background so we can see that clearly. And here, a little bit more excitingly, you can choose the actual symbol on there. So I'm going to go for a dragon, because who doesn't think dragons are cool? So there's my little banner I've made there. So I'm quite pleased with that. So we're now going to carry on and head over to find Leah. And we're going to go into this inn here by pressing A. So we've gone into the Slaughtered Calf Inn. Immediately we can find Leah here. She's got an exclamation mark above her head, very Blizzard style if you've played WoW. Not that I'm a particular fan of WoW, but I can see similarities from what I have played of it. And immediately we're attacked again, so using that magic we're going to try and throw it in the right direction at them and kill off these guys. We have both leveled up here and we've gained a new skill, so we're going to go and have a little look at that. Killerbyte as a witch doctor is going to have a look first. So if he goes into the skills menu, you can see on what will be your right trigger, your secondary weapon, he has unlocked what is called the Grasp of the Dead. This has a cooldown time of 8 seconds, which obviously means you can only use it every 8 seconds, and ghoulish hands reach out from the ground, slowing enemy movement by 60% and dealing 320% weapon damage as physical over 8 seconds. This secondary attack does cost your mana, which you can see is represented by the orange bar below your health. So now I'm going to go and have a look at my secondary weapon that I can use with my right trigger button. So my secondary is called Ray of Frost, which projects a beam of frozen ice that blasts 280% weapon damage as cold to the first enemy it hits, slowing the target's movement by 60% for 4 seconds. So we're both going to just do a quick test of our right trigger buttons. You can see there, Killerbyte, he's made those ghoulish hands appear there on the floor. You won't want to step in them. And then there's me having a quick go, and you can see there's my blast of ice. So we're just going to talk to Leah again before we leave.
There is a deep sickness here, but it can be healed.
Thank you. You should speak with Captain Rumford at the gate. He can tell you what to do.
So she's told us we need to go back and speak to that captain that we first acquired. We're just going to have a quick look around, and we've got Leah's diary there, journal part 1, and that's all there is to collect in this area. So now we're going to make our way and head back out.
Help doesn't arrive soon.
"16 militiamen went out, only Rumford came back."
If you are still injured from that previous fight, make sure to go and see Brother Malachi the healer on your way out and get yourself all nice and healed. You never know when you'll encounter some more enemies. So we're going to go and talk to the captain again now.
What can I do to help you fight the risen dead?
I admire your courage, but Captain Dalton and the militia were slaughtered by those things. Only I survived.
Thanks for the warning, but I won't be dying today.
Well, I have seen you fight. Strike at the wretched mothers and their queen. They're the ones vomiting out these horrors. They're attacking the barricade!
We have quite a few enemies coming towards us here, so a good opportunity to try out our new powers. You can see here I'm having a little bit of a go at trying to aim it okay. It does move really quickly, so it's quite useful to just use that left trigger to get that target aim, or to literally just not move around too much. You can see it does drain my mana though, so make sure to use that A button to use some other attacks too, so you can keep letting that replenish. This frost attack is really good against enemies though. It really does destroy them. It actually feels a little bit overpowered really, but we are just playing on normal mode, which is actually kind of meant as a bit of a tutorial on Diablo. I'm currently just playing on normal just to get a bit of a feel for the game, but there are 4 difficulty levels in Diablo 3. Obviously we've got normal, nightmare, hell and inferno. Each difficulty level repeats the same game content, but with monsters, items and everything else increased in level to keep scaling up the challenge. I'm playing on normal as it's designed to be fairly easy, especially early on. Gets new players into this game so we can learn the ropes without too much challenge. Difficulty starts to increase in Nightmare and Hell, and characters should max out at level 60 around the end of Hell. Inferno is obviously the highest difficulty level, which will be available to those who have finished Hell and reached level 60. Not sure personally I will be getting to that stage though. So we've now gone through the graveyard and entered this musty cellar here, and are of course being attacked by plenty more enemies. You can see there that gold often gets dropped, so make sure you walk over them to collect them. Also, enemies are starting to get a bit harder now, taking a few more hints. You can also see those little red hearts, I think they are. They restore your health, so make sure you take them. And also here, you just saw we've now leveled up to level 3. So let's see what new skills we've now unlocked. Killerbyte's going first as the Witch Doctor, and he's unlocked a new primary weapon, which is spiders. This attack means you throw a jar with 4 spiders that attack nearby enemies for a total of 120% weapon damage as physical before dying. I'm now going to check out my new primary skill unlock as a witch, and mine is called Pulse. This releases a medium range pulse of 3 unpredictable charges of electricity that deal 150% weapon damage as lightning. So you can see Killerbyte has had a go there, and he's thrown his jar of spiders and they're crawling all over the floor. And then I'm going to have a go, and I'm throwing that pulse of electricity, which you can see kind of bouncing along the floor to get that enemy. So while we're making our way through the cemetery killing enemies, I just want to briefly talk about the other classes. There are 5 classes in Diablo 3. Obviously the Witch Doctor, which Killerbyte is playing at. He is a manipulator of the forces of life and death. This caster wields the power of nature in unsettling ways. I'm playing as the Wizard, master of the temporal and elemental energies powering creation itself. The other 3 classes you can play as is a Barbarian, a Stoic Warrior who uses tremendous physical strength to crush foes, You can also play as a demon hunter who has ranged weaponry, and shadow manipulation makes this vengeful hero an elusive stalker of demons. And finally, the last class is Monk, a holy warrior who attacks faster than the eye can follow, disabling enemies with precision blows. So it's up to you really what sort of style you like to play these sort of games in. I know I'm a big fan of using magic, especially in games like Skyrim, which is more the sort of RPG I prefer to play usually. But as I said, I thought I would give this a go and see how I get on. My first impressions, it's quite good fun. It's quite basic at the moment. I'm sure if you play it on those higher difficulties, it gets a bit more challenging. It's quite similar to games like Dragon Age, where you've got that third-person view and set buttons do certain things, and you're just sort of throwing and doing the same sort of repeated attack over again. But it's obviously personal preference and how you prefer to play a game.
Not ready yet.
I am done. The mothers sleep once more.
Old Tristan, Diablo's evil lingers everywhere. Need more time. Need more time.
So as I go to complete this quest, in summary, I'm sure fans of the Diablo series are going to enjoy this game. People who have played World of Warcraft and enjoy that sort of Blizzard style are going to enjoy this game. But unfortunately, it just isn't for me. So to any of my Battlefield fans who have watched this, don't worry, I am most definitely not giving up Battlefield to play Diablo. It just doesn't have the complexities and the challenge and the skill and the fantastic look that Battlefield has. This game just really wasn't for me. It was, it was a good laugh on a Saturday night playing it co-op, and I'm sure a lot of people will enjoy leveling up and getting the new items, which, I do enjoy in games like Skyrim, and I'm massively looking forward to the Elder Scrolls Online on the Xbox One. I think that will be a wonderful game, but this just isn't in that style and it isn't for me. So I'm sure, as I said, it will be enjoyed by Blizzard fans, but not for Battlefield Gamer Girl. Thanks for watching.